Wait, are we seriously this close to seeing Dogecoin, Solana, and even XRP ETFs on the market? Just a couple years ago, anytime a crypto company hinted at launching a new ETF, markets went crazy with excitement, only for the SEC to slam the brakes and shut it down. Back then, it felt like the SEC was the strict parent that always said no. But here's the plot twist. Now we've got real filings for Dogecoin, Solana, XRP, and even GTOSOL, not just rumors. These filings are official. NASDAQ has already filed for a 21 shares Dogecoin ETF. VanEck put in paperwork for a GTOSOL ETF. Multiple firms have XRP filings in the pipeline. And yes, there's even been a Trump coin ETF filing. That shows you just how far the door might open. These aren't whispers in Discord groups. This paperwork is logged in the Federal Register. That's basically the government's public bulletin board. Once something lands there, the SEC is on the clock. By law, they have 45 to 90 days to decide. So late September isn't just hype. That's when the first wave of decisions could actually hit. So here's the pro move. Don't just trust hype on Twitter or YouTube. If you want to spot opportunities before the crowd, go to the source. Headlines get recycled, but the Federal Register is where the real countdown begins. But why would the SEC suddenly be open to letting meme coins and smaller projects through the door after years of shutting them out? You probably thought the SEC was allergic to crypto, so what's changed? For years, the SEC treated crypto like an unruly outsider. But in July 2025, something big shifted. They approved a rule that lets crypto ETFs use the same mechanics as gold and oil funds. In ETF terms, that's called in-kind creation and redemption. Basically, it's the plumbing that lets ETFs function smoothly at scale. Without it, these products wouldn't work. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The biggest exchanges like NASDAQ and NYSE have filed to create generic listing standards for crypto ETFs. That's like setting up TSA PreCheck. Instead of fighting for approval coin by coin, once the framework is in place, future ETFs can list much faster as long as they meet those standards. Now, just to clear up a common confusion, these aren't 1940 Act mutual funds. They're commodity-style trusts, the same legal structure used for gold ETFs. So the SEC isn't treating crypto like a company stock. They're treating it like a commodity, something you can package and trade. It's not that the SEC suddenly loves crypto. It's about giving investors what they're demanding and keeping people from running off to unregulated offshore sites. This is where the story changes. The SEC moves slowly, but when they start rewriting the process itself, that's when the floodgates can open. So if ETFs for altcoins actually get approved, how could this change the bull run we're in right now? Does this mean mass adoption could hit way faster than anyone expected? Think back to when the first Bitcoin ETF went live. The price surged, and more importantly, huge institutional investors, hedge funds, retirement accounts, big money managers could finally buy in with a click. No wallets, no private keys, just a ticker symbol in their brokerage. Now imagine the same thing happening with Dogecoin, Solana, XRP, or even liquid staking tokens like GTOSOL. Billions of dollars could flow in almost overnight through the same apps and brokers people already use for Apple or Google stock. Don't get caught flat-footed. If you want in on big moves, track ETF filings. The projects mentioned in those filings are the ones most likely to get the spotlight when doors swing open. But let's get real. Will normal investors actually care about these coins? Or is this just hype for crypto diehards? Here's the catch. Your parents, coworkers, or friends who would never touch a crypto exchange may start owning altcoins without even realizing it. Why? Because once crypto ETFs appear in their regular brokerage app, buying Dogecoin or Solana becomes as easy as buying Tesla or Google. That's when things get wild. Suddenly, coins that felt niche or risky could sit right next to Apple or Amazon in retirement portfolios. And when access gets that easy, trading volume and price momentum tend to explode. So, is this the biggest change for crypto since the first Bitcoin ETF, or just overhyped noise? The original Bitcoin ETF approval completely changed who could invest in crypto. Now, with this new SEC process, an entire wave of altcoins could make that same leap. faster, easier, and more often. The future isn't just about Bitcoin anymore. It's about which altcoins get approved next, and what happens when everyday investors suddenly have one-click access to projects that used to feel out of reach. Here's the bottom line. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, don't wait for the news cycle. Watch the filings, track which coins the big exchanges and asset managers are backing, and be ready to move when the green light flashes. And if you want a clear, step-by-step game plan for navigating these changes, or you just want to know exactly how to take advantage of this new wave, book a free strategy call with my team. You'll walk away with custom steps to trade smarter, not harder, and see whether ZenBlock can help you hit your goals faster.